Now that you have your loft complete, let's add a little bit more to our toy helicopter. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add attachment points for the helicopter frame. So we're going to put 4 of those into our fuselage part. There'll be an extruded boss base, and we'll open up a sketch on plane 1. So on plane 1, you're going to draw 2 circles. Might help us a little bit if we view normal to this. And if you select that again, it'll bring it around so we're looking at it from the back. Put our dimensions on those circles. They're going to be 0.25 in diameter. And then if we add a relation, I can make the bottom circle equal to the top one. Now I'm going to put in my x and y dimensions. So this one, I want it to be over relatively close to the side. So I'll start out with 1 on that. And then up about 2.5 from the bottom should be good. Then I'm going to click on this one. Move that over towards the side as well. I'll make that one 0.75. And then up from the bottom, let's make that 0.5. Okay, so now we've got that sketch. The next thing we're going to do is go up here, click Offset Entities, and we're going to select both of them. And the wall thickness of 0.1 inches is fine for that. Then we're going to go exit our sketch. And of course the extrude command opens up. And now we want these to go up to, but not through, the surface of our fuselage. So we're going to select up to next. And we could also potentially put some draft on this. We want that to draft outwards. So you could pull this out of a mold, make that 3 degrees. And we're going to check OK. So we've got those. Now, if we want 2 identical ones on the other half of the fuselage, we're going to go up and select Mirror. Click on the right plane. SolidWorks already has the features selected. If they weren't there, you could add them by clicking in that window. And we're going to check OK. So now we have our attachment points for the frame for the helicopter. The next thing we're going to add is we're going to open a 3D sketch. So we're going to go up to Sketch, 3D Sketch, select the line command, and we're going to draw the rungs for the helicopter landing gear. So we're going to start out on the XY plane, come out towards ourselves a little bit, then we're going to go down at an angle, hit Tab. That lets us switch over to the YZ plane to go forward. I'm going to move forward, and then up. Hit Escape. If you rotate around a little bit, you'll see your landing gear rung. We'll go up here, select Sketch Fillet. 0.5 would be a good radius for that. Click there, there, and there. Click OK. And we've got our path for our sweep. We'll exit our sketch. On the right plane, we'll open a new sketch. Select our circle, come down in here, draw the circle in. And that one we're going to give a diameter of, and I accidentally selected the front plane there, so go back up, hit Get Dimension. I'm going to get a diameter of 0.25. We'll exit this sketch, because remember you can't be in either sketch to go and start a swept boss base. Then we'll come up here, select boss base. SOLIDWORKS already grabbed my profile for me. The next thing I'll do is grab the path. And we can put in our rung for our landing gear. If we wanted to change the color on that, we could go up to Appearances, select the sweep, and I like gray for that one, so let's go select a dark gray. There we go. So we've got one piece of our frame for our helicopter. The next thing I'm going to do, you guys don't have to do this in your lab, so for your lab I basically want you to mirror this over to the other side, and you can turn that in. If you want to do a little bit extra, we're going to sketch a tail section for our helicopter. So we're going to open a 3D sketch, get the line command open, and we're going to get the center of this boss right here. We're going to click on that center, and then we're going to come straight out from there. And if you notice, we're actually in the XY plane. We don't want to be in the XY plane, so we're going to hit Tab. That gets us into the YZ plane. So now we actually are coming straight out. We'll come out about a ½ inch, click there. Then we're going to go down to our line for the center of the gear rung. We're going to click there. We're going to zoom out, rotate around a little bit. We'll click back up in here to create our tail. All this is all drawn in the YZ plane. Then we're going to come forward again, up into this area. So if you can see that. And then the last thing we're going to do is zoom way in and get the center of that boss. Now we're going to add some relations to this sketch. In order for SOLIDWORKS to complete a sweep on this path, we can't have two circles come in that aren't right aligned with each other. So I need to align this edge with the center axis of that boss. So I'm going to go up and select temporary axes, and then I'm going to add a relation. I'm going to make them collinear. And now if we rotate around, we can see that our tail section is going out. We don't really want that. We want that to be going in. So I'm going to grab this line and that plane and put a dimension between them. And that is actually going to be, I like 0.5 for that dimension. So now if you look, you've got your sketch is actually curving back inwards a little bit. And that's going to be pretty good for our path. The last thing I want to do is put in my fillet. So I'll leave 0.5 the same. You could constrain all these points if you wanted to. We don't necessarily have to for me to show you the point of this. And there's our rear, our tail rotor support for the helicopter. Check OK, and then we're going to exit our sketch. So we've got a 3D sketch that's not entirely defined. That's all right in this case. Now we're going to go back to plane 2, and we're going to open another sketch on plane 2. And I'm sorry, that was supposed to be plane 1. So we're going to go to plane 1, open a sketch on plane 1. And then we're going to go and we're going to convert that entity and back out and exit the sketch. Okay, so now we have two sketches, a path and a profile, which are requirements for Swept Boss. We're going to go up here and click Swept Boss Base. We've got our profile selected already. We're going to select our path, and we're going to check OK. And now we've got another portion of the frame for our helicopter. Again, I'm not so keen about maroon for that color, so I'm going to change that color over to dark gray. So to finish out our frame, we're going to mirror this part, and I want to select features to mirror. I'm going to grab the rung and the frame, the two sweeps, and then I'm going to select the right plane as the mirror plane and check OK. And now we've got pretty far along with our helicopter.